Well, friends, I did it again. As you can see, I moved a lot of my funds, my crypto holdings, back to Nexo. You can see right now my portfolio balance increased quite a bit from recent times. But of course, one of the big reasons why I did it is the nice interest I've been getting so far and will continue to get even more of going forward with the high amount being put back into the Nexo exchange. And in this video, I want to actually share with you why I did it, my thoughts behind it, and what I'm planning to do with my crypto going forward. Some of you might have been following my channel for a while now, and you may remember that I had pretty much in the beginning all my crypto on Nexo. I've been using them for a number of years now. The exchange actually launched back in 2018, so over 6 years ago, and has been doing really well. In the beginning, I was super happy and I kept pretty much most of my crypto on there, and I bought it there and kept it there and got a nice interest in the past, which was great. But then of course we had some difficult times and there was quite a bit of panic in the markets. The crypto prices started dropping and well, I also started panicking. We started seeing exchanges like FTX and Celsius going bankrupt, completely closing down, and users who had the funds over there basically lost all their money, which is really painful. And that's where the saying comes from, not your keys, not your crypto. And that's when I also really started waking up and moved all my funds from the Nexo exchange over to my Ledger hardware wallet. There are also great alternatives like the Tangam wallet, which is really great. Recently made a video about this, really easy to use as a cold storage. So different ways, but basically you have self-custody, which is the beauty of cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin, right? I'm a Bitcoin maximalist right now. I only own Bitcoin. That's what I understand. That's what I like. So I had it for the longest of time. But the only challenge is, of course, when you have it in cold storage, as safe as it is, and it's amazing, you're kind of missing out on the interest on staking, right? Some cryptocurrencies you can stake. In the case of Bitcoin, you can't really stake it technically, but you can lend it through an exchange, for example, of Nexo. They do it all at the back end. You just give your Bitcoin to the exchange and well, in return, you get some nice interest. The same with USDT, right? At some stage, I was getting 13% on my USDT holdings. So that's why I really like Nexo in terms of getting interest on your cryptocurrency. Is probably one of the nicest exchange out there. But as I said, in the past, I was a bit concerned and I still am, right? And by all means, what I'm saying in this video, it still involves a lot of risk because still leaving any money on the exchange is always a risky issue because there's no fund protection. There's no guarantee if it goes bust, you may lose all your money. So definitely there is a risk to it. However, looking at the crypto markets right now, as you can see over here, of course, in recent times, yes, while it hasn't been super exciting, you know, with the markets mostly moving sideways since a couple of years, as you can see, Bitcoin price hovering up and down the 60 area. Actually today, I think we reached a new all-time high of 71K. I think we never had that before, but be it as it may, overall, we're still in a very strong Bitcoin position. Now, when I go back over here, what I meant before 2022, right, it was much more challenging with prices down 11K, 20K. That's when I knew that crypto exchanges will have a much tougher time. Now when the markets are up, the chances of them doing well are much higher. And that's why I feel much more comfortable leaving my money over there. But that also means if I start seeing once again a major decline in the prices, I will definitely right away move my crypto back to my hardware wallet for sure. And there are also some great websites out there where you can track all the various coins and crypto exchanges, their holdings. And here we are on arkhamintelligence.com. And you can see Nexo currently has a total holding of $728 million, almost $750 million of holdings. So definitely quite significant. Of course, they had the highest amount of balances over here back in 2022. But since then really stayed stable. And honestly, I've been really impressed with how they've been doing over time. I've been really enjoying the experience. I tried many different crypto exchanges. And for frequent traders, maybe Nexo is not the best. You might want to go with other exchanges like Binance, OKX or BitGet, what have you. Maybe they have slightly lower fees, even though the fees are really reasonable over here. But of course, in terms of lending, it's super interesting. I just want to show you the rates that you can be expecting and what I'm getting right now. Now, obviously, first off, starting with stable coins, these are basically pegged one-to-one with either the euros, the dollars, most commonly the dollars, which would be USDT, right? It's very common. If you've ever been using any kind of crypto exchange, most likely heard about USDT, the biggest stable coin right now in the world. That's what I'm also using as well. You can see here on the flex terms, that means you can withdraw at any time. There's no lockup period. You can get 11%, which is absolutely amazing. If you lock it up for at least 3 months, you can get an additional 3%, but I don't like to lock it up. I like to be flexible. And if you earn a Nexo, so that's the Nexo token, you can earn an additional 2%. I'll speak about this a little bit later. I want to show you my portfolio. I actually decided against it. I'll also tell you the reasons why. In the past, I used to earn in Nexo tokens, but recently I actually made a shift to earn in kind, meaning if I lend my Bitcoin, I will earn Bitcoin. If I lend my USDT, I will earn USDT. So for me, it just makes more sense. And of course, one thing to keep in mind, that depends on your loyalty tier level. So the more Nexo token you have, the higher your loyalty tier is. Now, in my case, obviously now that I sent much more funds in the form of Bitcoin to the exchange, I actually dropped from platinum, which previously meant that I have at least 10% or more of my total holdings in Nexo token. Now I drop down to silver because now my Nexo token out of my total holding is only around 2.5%. And that also means that my returns are starting to get less. But still, with USDT, I'm still going to be getting 9.25% on the flex terms, which is absolutely incredible, right? When you look at fiat money, what you get on your US dollars or euros, it's significantly less. Now, of course, it's also higher risk, right? Because you have the platform risk and the stablecoin risk. But overall, well, for me right now at least, it's definitely worth to have some exposure over there. And the cool thing is you can also get interest on your Bitcoin. And that's what I meant previously. I've been missing out. Now, granted, it's of course significantly less, but still it's 3.25%. And yes, while it does not sound super exciting, that's about the same amount I'm currently getting on my euro holdings, right? And once again, if you're on the higher level, it can even go up to 4% on the flex. If you lock it up for 1 month, you could earn 5% in Bitcoin. If you then do it in Nexo, you can earn 7% on Bitcoin. But once again, obviously, now that I have more Bitcoin holdings over there, my proportion of Nexo token goes down. So I'm back on silver, and that's why I'm at the 3.25%. I was thinking about an additional 1% to lock it up for 1 month. So with Bitcoin, it's only 1 month of lockup. But still, as I said, I really monitor the crypto prices. If I start seeing Bitcoin taking a deep dive over here and going down in price, I want to withdraw it right away and don't miss around. So imagine I just started a new term, the prices start dropping, and then I'm locked in, I can't withdraw it. I just don't want to take that risk to potentially lose my Bitcoin if the platform goes down, even though once again, I'm quite bullish on them. But of course, you never know what might happen, right? And the additional Nexo kicker, in this case, as you can see, is really not worth it. It would only be 0.25% more, and then I would earn in Nexo versus in Bitcoin, right? And why I decided not to earn Nexo token, while it also did well over time, there's a 1 year period, you can see Nexo token appreciated by almost 60%, which is not bad. In the same time, obviously, right now with the high of Bitcoin we saw today, it's up 106% over the year. So significant difference. Even if I zoom out even further, the difference becomes even more pronounced. So you can still have a gain with the Nexo token, but it's much less predictable in long term. I don't know where Nexo will be in the next 10, 20 years, because if the exchange goes down, all the Nexo token will go down with it, but I can withdraw my Bitcoin and move it to another exchange if I wanted to one day. And maybe that exchange won't support Nexo token. So that's why I want to earn in kind, either USDT or Bitcoin, to safeguard myself and be platform agnostic long term. And another reason why I've done the transfer right now back to the exchange, at least some of my funds, and keep in mind that the majority of my crypto holdings are actually still in my hardware wallets. So I'm keeping a majority there. So even if worst case happens and Nexo goes down, which hopefully once again won't happen, I still have the majority safely kept in self-custody on my hardware wallet. So of course it will be super painful. Right now the amount is rather large, but still at least the majority is still in safe hands. And out of my total portfolio, if I consider real estate, my ETFs, and of course the remaining crypto kept in my hardware wallet, it's still as a percentage a rather small amount. So that's why I feel comfortable with it. I would certainly not move all my cryptocurrency right now into the exchange because that would be really risky. And for me, just too much given the reward I'll get. But some portion of it and a higher exposure than I previously had, I think it really makes sense. Another point, I feel bullish about it because obviously we have the US elections coming up and it seems both candidates, whoever will win ultimately, but I think the sentiment towards Bitcoin and crypto in general has been really changed in recent times. It used to be more negative, but now both of them came out actually quite strongly in favor of Bitcoin to make crypto really part of regulations and so forth. So I think it's going to be very good, and that will help also exchanges in the long term and continue their operations. So I think that will really boost more exchanges in the future, and therefore, of course, Nexo, which is great to see. They're also expanding now more in the Middle East, where I'm based right now, in the UAE. So I think overall, Nexo has a bright future ahead. And while the Bitcoin prices, as I'm doing this video right now, are up, it might be once again a bumpy road, and we might see in the next few days a price drop down. But I think in the coming months, at least, I don't see any major changes that make me cautious about the prices potentially dropping. Because once again, the election will come up. That usually drives the prices going forward afterwards. We see the oil price dropping in recent times, which is good for companies, the stock market overall. Plus, of course, inflation coming down, the interest rates are coming down, meaning less interest rates. People have to invest in other things, right, to get a return on their money. So I think overall the markets are in a strong position. We're entering the late part of autumn, winter ahead, which is usually also a good time for the market. So I feel very bullish about it. Now, if I would be seeing dark clouds on the horizon or real recession coming anytime soon, then clearly I would not be doing that move. But right now, I think we're really in a strong position. So why not capitalize on that and earn more crypto on my crypto, right? That's what it's all about. about make your money or your crypto work for you, right? So jumping into the Nexo platform to see what I'm actually holding and how much interest I'm getting. First of all, let's see the loyalty level. As you can see, I definitely dropped quite a bit now. If I jump into this, you can see my holdings are now 1.33%. So that means I have significantly less Nexo token as a percentage of my total holdings than I used to have. I used to be platinum member. As you can see, it was 10% or more of Nexo. Now I'm just above base. Obviously, I don't want to fall below base. That's why I'm not planning to add any more crypto, because if I had even more in there, then obviously I would start falling below the base level, and that wouldn't be good because then my interest would definitely drop. So in this case, I might actually consider to withdraw some of my holdings to be at least at silver level, because I think that offers a good value for money. I could exchange some money into Nexo, but as I said, I don't want to increase my Nexo holding necessarily. Right, and here we are inside my wallet with all the assets I have. And actually, it's not that much. As you can see, I have some Nexo tokens. That's why I'm a silver, because I do have $576 worth of Nexo. So that's helpful, because if I didn't have any of it, obviously I would get even less interest on that. So it makes sense to have some exposure to some of the Nexo token. And overall, they have increased in price and value for me, which has been good. And in the past, I earned mostly Nexo token. That's why my holding is a bit more. I didn't actually buy that much of Nexo myself. It is price appreciation over time plus some of the interest that I got paid in Nexo. Then of course I have USDT, which I recently started, and yeah, I did that because of the high interest I get and the flexibility, because it's stable, right? With Bitcoin, when you have some cash on the side, like your emergency fund, and you put it on the exchange, and let's say you get some interest, that's great, but then one day you need the money, and at that time, the price for Bitcoin maybe drop by 20-30%, and then you sell it in order to withdraw it and use the money in real life. That's very painful. The beauty of a stable coin is it's, well, as the name says, stable, right? So that 20 or 100 or 1,000 or $5,000, it's pretty much going to be exactly the same amount. There's no price appreciation or depreciation or price swings happening, which is great. So it's stable. And that's why it's nice to keep at least some funds over here. Technically, I was thinking to put even more of my dollars in here, convert them to USDT to get that nice interest. But if I put even more, as I've shown you before, I would fall back into the basic level, and then overall my returns would be a little bit less. So I'm happy with this as it is right now. And then of course my Bitcoin holding, which is my most recent addition. And yeah, you can see right now I actually crossed the 40K mark, which is quite substantial. As I said, definitely very high, but it earns me a sweet 3.25% interest that is paid to me on a daily basis. Now, obviously the amount is on an annual basis, but it's chopped out and paid to you every single day, which is also nice, right? And you wake up in the morning and see you received Bitcoin interest. It feels pretty cool, I must say. Now, why I put up to $40,000? Because actually there's a little fine print. If I go back to the Nexo page over here, on the silver plan, you can earn the 3.25% only up to 40,000 on the flex plan, right? If I locked it up, it doesn't matter. I can put 100,000, that's fine. But on the flex plan up to 40,000, anything above that, it will be at only 1.75%. So that's for me really not attractive and not worth the potential risk, right? 3.25% is just borderline. Of course, I would have wished it would be even higher, but it's still enough for me to take that risk of having some of the Bitcoin over there. Now, in case you're wondering how much interest I'll be getting in a year if I kept the money there for 1 year, well, in total it will be $1,300, which honestly, not too shabby, right? Just for keeping my money over there. Of course, I'm taking the risk. I wouldn't do that if I got $100, $200 out of it, but $1,300, not too bad actually, if you ask me. So per month, it's over $100 I'll be earning in interest, which is definitely a nice addition to my passive income that I'm getting, right? In the past, I used to buy dividend stocks, which paid me less of a dividend, and the appreciation of the share price over time was less than Bitcoin has appreciated over time. So for me, it's definitely much more attractive. And if you want to try out Nexo for yourself, then use my link down in the description below and you'll be able to get up to $35 worth of free Bitcoin, which in the future might be worth even more. There are no monthly fees, so definitely check it out. And yes, here you can see, like a Swiss clock, I'm getting paid my interest every single day, which is really cool. Already this morning, I got some USDT, paid on my USDT holding. I got some Bitcoin, paid on my Bitcoin holding. And actually that was on a lower Bitcoin holding. Just this morning, I transferred some more Bitcoin to get to the holding you see today. So tomorrow it will be actually higher. So in total, it will be around $3.30 per day to come to the $100 per month. So yeah, tomorrow that number will be even higher. And of course, a little bit of interest on my Nexo holdings paid to me in Nexo. But of course, as you saw, the holding is also less, even though the interest is high. So yeah, and yeah, that's a cool thing that's being added to your account every single day, and I absolutely love it. And it's just so rewarding and nice to see that. And while coming back to the overview over here, you can see the interest earned so far, almost $1,400. So real significant numbers. And if I open it up over here, the details, the number would have been even higher if I would have not withdrawn most of my crypto from the exchange, if I kept it there since I started with Nexo. But obviously actually for quite a while, I didn't have any money sitting over here. But now that I brought it back, that number will definitely continue to increase. And you can see over here where the interest was earned. In Nexo token in total, I earned $1,200. So as I told you previously, I earned only in Nexo. So you can choose either to earn everything in Nexo or everything in kind, meaning in the respective currency that you're staking or lending out, right? And obviously that amount is higher than what I have in Nexo now. That's because I sold some of my Nexo token. I converted them, I believe, in Bitcoin or USDT in the past because I just felt I had too much of the Nexo token. So I did that. So yes, I really like that overview. Makes it very easy to see where your interest is coming from and going to. Hope it made it a bit clearer why I made the decision. At the same time, I would really urge you to think twice or 3 times or 4 times about it before actually doing it. Because as I said many times before, it does involve a lot of risk, right? Because platform risk is really real. Now, I'm not bothered about Bitcoin risk because yeah, I'm a long-term buyer and holder of Bitcoin. If it drops by some percentage, that's totally fine. I would anyways otherwise keep it on my hardware wallet. The biggest thing is the platform risk, right? What happens if Nexo was to go under? And yeah, that would be really painful. I mean, we have seen now cases with some of the exchanges that went bust, like FTX, for example, where investors actually got most of their funds back, which is really amazing. Now, that doesn't mean the same will happen to Nexo if they were to go down, but yes, definitely it has a very high risk to it. So rather than just looking at my amount and saying, well, Kai put that amount, I'm going to do the same, see what is the amount you want to put out of your total holding. Now, if you happen to have 1 million worth of Bitcoin, then putting 20, 30, 40,000 here, I think as a percentage is really reasonable to get some interest on your money. Now, if you have, let's say, 5,000 euros worth of Bitcoin, then putting all of it over here might be a bit of a risky move. I would then maybe split it 50-50 or 70-30, put some over here to see how you feel with it, if you like it or not, and then maybe you can gradually increase it or not. I will definitely keep as I have right now the percentage because anyways, I can't really put more. Otherwise, I would have to increase my Nexo holding, which I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to buy more of Nexo. And also, I wouldn't put more of the other cryptocurrency because that would drop me even further in the loyalty level. I would go back to base member, therefore would earn less interest. And at that point, it would get less attractive for me, the risk versus reward profile. So for now, I'm really happy the way it is. I'll continue to get the interest. And also one thing to keep in mind, while $100 may not seem like that much, I think about the long term, right? $100 right now is $100 right now. But I earn it in Bitcoin. So $100 that I earn right now in the future, if Bitcoin continues to increase, which I'm quite bullish it will, right? People say it will be worth maybe one day $1 million, but let's assume even 500,000, that's more than 7x from what it is today. So the $100 today in the future will be worth $700. So technically you could almost think I'm getting $700. Now I do understand that's a bit hypothetical, but at the same time, I believe the long-term appreciation of the Bitcoin is definitely more valuable than being paid dollars for me. And that's why I'm really happy to get it because that actually increases my Bitcoin holding. So rather than just looking at the total amount I have right now in Bitcoin, I want to look at the actual number of Bitcoins I have, right? How many Bitcoins do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's amazing. Not the value, because the value will keep on fluctuating. And I'm ready for it, right? If we do enter a recession, I wouldn't be surprised to see one Bitcoin selling for 20, 30,000 again. Maybe that will happen. I'll be able to increase my Bitcoin holding as such, right? All right, friends. Hope you found the video useful. If you have any questions about any of it, let me know down in the comments below. I'll get back to every single one of you. Next up, check out this video over here. As always, thanks a lot for watching. Stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.